The Twins couldn't wait to get out of the Bronx. They actually are owned by the Yankees, but their consolation, Tarek Skubal, 60 feet away. Luke Keeschel, he doesn't care. Runner on second, 2 outs. Byron Buxton's going to plate. Skubal through 3 innings did not have a strikeout, and that is abnormal because he leads the majors with 190 strikeouts, and he averages 11 every 9 innings. Riley Green, top of the 4th. Goodness gracious. Runner on second, 2 outs. 1 swing of the bat, going to put the Tigers on the board. That was his lone hit. He was 1 for 4. He's registered 89 RBI this season. That's 6th best in the majors, though the Tigers still find themselves down. And Riley Green's offense, only to be outdone by Riley Green's defense continuously. He makes so many top plays, he has to start paying rent. The real estate that he occupies in our top plays every single day. Bottom of the 10th, we're still tied. Austin Martin Music, runner on third, 1 out. Good defense right here. Spencer Torkelson, clean field, gets it to Dylan Dingler, gets the tag down in time. The play would be reviewed. Upon further review, it's upheld, runner out. So we now go to the 11th. Bottom of it, Twins down 4-3, Ryan Jeffers. No outs, runner on second on an 0-2 pitch. It's strike 3. Rocco Baldelli comes out. He says, hey, Blue, ball hit the dirt. Shouldn't be out. He has a point. He gets tossed. He says, Blue, the ball hit the dirt. This is what dirt looks like. Let me put it all over your plate so you have to clean it. And by the way, pick up my hat. 2 batters later, last chance for Minnesota. Royce Lewis didn't hold up. Didn't hold up. He went around. So says Blue. Tigers win 4-3 in extras. All right, what's going on in the NL East? Francisco Lindor and the Mets taking on the Bravos, and you love seeing this in Queens. Bottom of the 3rd, Francisco Lindor, 1 swing of the bat, breaks a scoreless tie. Or do you love to see it? Because the Mets have actually lost 6 straight games in which they scored first. So they're up 1-0. Top 4 Aussie Albies off Kodai Senga, and Juan Soto's like, please come back to me. Come back, please. It doesn't. That's not how the rules work. 5 2/3 Kodai Senga went. Braves tied up at 1, and then more Albies. Albies hits. 2 runners on. Atlanta 6-3 against the Mets, despite having a subpar season by their standards in Atlanta. Braves up 2-1. Pete Alonso, though, chipping away. We're in the bottom of the 6th. It's a 2-2 game. Alonso going to plate Soto. So it's 3-2. Okay. The Mets trying to hang on to that 3rd and final NL wildcard spot, but it's Albies, man. What a bugaboo. Michael Harris II is going to score. Braves hang on to win 4-3. The Mets have lost 13 of their last 15 games. Matter of fact, entering June 13th, the Mets were on top of the NL East, 5.5 games up on the Phillies for first place. But the Metropolitans have gone 19-33 since June 13th, now find themselves 5 back of the Phillies for the division. Tim Kurkjian. Tim, fantastic to see you. Which team is in a worse spot right now in New York? Is it the Mets or is it the Yankees?
Well, the Yankees are in greater trouble of making the playoffs, but the Mets have played even worse than the Yankees have lately. As you know, Gary, they had the best record in baseball in the middle of June, and now they've lost 13 out of 15. Last night was the 10th loss since the All-Star break in which they had a lead in the game. That's not a good sign, and it's in part because they're just not scoring runs like the Mets should score runs. If you look at their starting lineup last night, Pete Alonso was the only guy in the lineup with a batting average this year above 252. I know we don't care about batting average anymore. I do, but it's got to be a matter of time now before Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, and the rest of this team starts to swing the bat, because lately it just hasn't gone very well, and they need a lot of work.
Yeah, and it hasn't manufactured any wins. 1-9 in their last 10, as you mentioned. Let's head out west. A big 3-game set between the Dodgers and the Padres. That starts tonight with San Diego currently leading the division over LA by 1 game. How do you see this race playing out, Tim?
Well, the Padres are rolling. I think they're going to win the division. Remember, they were 8.5 games out in early July, and now they have caught and passed the Dodgers. And one reason why is all the work they did at the trade deadline to make the back end of that bullpen just ridiculously good. They got Mason Miller from the A's, and he throws 103 miles an hour, and he pitches in the 8th inning because they have Jason Adam in the 7th, Robert Suarez in the 9th. That is one of the deepest, most versatile bullpens in the game. And also keep in mind, the Padres are not afraid of the Dodgers. They're not intimidated by them. They came this close to beat them in the playoffs last year. I mean, both teams are going to the playoffs, don't get me wrong. And both teams are going to have to figure out a way to beat the Brewers. But I like the Padres more than the Dodgers right now. And 2 months ago, I would have never said that.
That's awesome. It's going to make for September and October baseball to be that much more dramatic. All right, Tim, before we let you go, of course, SportsCenter's in Vermont today for 50 states in 50 days. Let's talk about Hall of Famer who hails from the great state of Vermont in Carlton. Fisk played 24 years in the majors, probably his most notable, most remarkable single moment. Bottom of the 12th, Game 6 of the 75 World Series for the Red Sox. He willed that thing to stay fair. Sean McGuire had tickets to the game but missed it to see about a girl. He played 24 years. Tim, what else do you remember from Pudge?
Well, he's one of the most old-school, hard-nosed players who hated the opponent that I've almost ever met. I'll never forget when 1990 Deion Sanders came to the plate, drew a $sign in the batter's box, and Carlton Fisk, who insisted that everyone who's playing the game plays the game properly, didn't appreciate that at all. Deion hit a pop-up or a ground ball, and Fisk followed him to first base, like screaming at him to respect the game. And it started, of course, a brawl between the two teams. But that didn't bother Carlton Fisk. He truly hated the Yankees when he played for the Red Sox. And everyone on the Red Sox felt that way because the captain of the team basically felt that way. Hard-nosed, tough guy, and a Hall of Fame catcher.
And that's the thing, Tim, you said right before we started the segment, you have a funny story about literally everybody you've come across and crossed paths with in Major League Baseball, except Carlton Fisk, because he was about his business for 24 years. And maybe that is where the comedy lies. Tim Kurkjian joining us this morning on SportsCenter. Thanks, Tim. Hey, to the best team in baseball, the Brewers, though, they didn't win yesterday. That's because they didn't play yesterday. Hey, sound up for the Brew Crew.
I like a lot of different things during the game. There's pancake. I got actually I got a little pocket pancake right here that I munch on. They're wonderful. You want some?
Oh, those are delicious. Pizza, bagels, what else do you keep in your pocket?
Whatever fits.
Oh, that's big pocket. That's how everything got started back on August 1st when Pat Murphy busted out the pocket pancake. Let's go to August 8th against the Mets. The win streak right now is at 6. 9th inning, 2 outs. Brewers lead 3-2. Man on site, and Jeff McNeil singles. Blake Perkins comes up throwing and gets Starling Marte. Brewers hang on to win 3-2, but they would not be done. August 10th, the streak is at 8, looking for the series sweep. Bottom 9, tied at 6. Isaac Collins taking Edwin Diaz to deep right. And that's a walk-off jack. Collins got all of that. Milwaukee's win streak goes to 9 games thanks to the 7-6 walk-off win against the Mets. Two teams going in opposite directions. The Brewers continue to win. The Mets continue to be in a free fall. Just a couple of days later, it's August 12th. The win streak is now at 12 games. This is just a couple days ago against the Pirates, taking on Paul Skeens, who up to this point, 25 starts, had not surrendered a first inning run. We're in the first inning, and Sal Frelick just made us rewrite our stat sheet because he took Skeens deep. Later in the game, bottom of the 4th, Bryce Turang. Deep center. Skeens went 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned. All right. Meanwhile, in the majors, Phillies Nationals, Monet Davis, you remember her, in D.C. to throw out the first pitch to Robert Hassel III. This is significant because 2014 Little League World Series, Philly versus Nashville, Monet Davis was just blazing a trail at the time and continues to do so. Struck out Hassel III in their Little League World Series meeting. So back to yesterday, Davis at Nats Park. Hassel now a member of those Nationals, and she throws out the first pitch. Full circle 11 years later. That's pretty cool.